Hi, guys. Welcome to Lesson 1.1 Place Value to the Thousandths. I can identify place value of numbers through the thousands. So, we're going to start today by talking about dot arrays with the ones, the tens, and the hundreds. This chart should be familiar from second and third grade. This year, though, we do add in the thousands. So we have small squares representing the ones place. We have a 10 or a quick 10 representing the tens place. And we have a 100 block for the hundreds. And then this cube represents our thousands place. To help you out, we're going to be using Itools and the base 10 blocks. This tool is pretty simple. If you want a ones place, you just click it and then click again where you want it. Tens, which allows you to build numbers. As you build the number, it writes it down here. You can erase or do the whole screen. Okay, so we're going to be using that today. All right. So we're going to start by using our base 10 blocks and adding 1 10 plus 4 ones. So if I come to my Itools, I'm going to have 1 10 plus 4 ones. Hopefully you knew that would build the number 14. I can erase it when I'm done. And there's our answer right there. Make that big again for you. Okay. We can also use Itools to model the hundreds. Here we have the number 126. Pop back in here. Here's my 100 block. 20. I'm going to need 2 tens. 1, 2. And I think my other number was 6. So I'm going to stick 6 smaller cubes. And I have 126. Now we're going to do 258. Come back to Itools. And 258, right? Yeah, okay. So 2 of these. 50. Okay, that's my tens place. And 8. 8 ones. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to take those base 10 blocks and we're going to turn them into what we call a dot array. So here I can see dots and a square around them. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 by 10. If I count by tens, I should know that there's 100 dots right here. So these are our 100 blocks. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I know that's 500. Then we have our quick tens. We have 3 of those, which equals 30, and 3 ones. thousands, which is 3. So we have 533. You're literally counting dots. So in this slide, we did hundreds. We can also model the thousands. But guys, you don't want to draw a giant grid and count every single little dot. So on our Itools, we actually just have a cube. And that is going to represent thousands. Okay? So this cube is made up of 10 100 blocks because our thousands place is 10 times as big as our hundreds. What number are we doing? Oh, 1072. So there's 1070. I don't have any hundreds. Did you notice this 0? That means there's no hundreds. So I go on to the next digit, which is a 7. So I'm going to my tens because it's actually 70. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. And I have 2 ones. That's my little tiny squares. I can check down here and I have built 1072. There we go. All right. So when you are just making a sketch or maybe you're using Google Slides, you're not going to draw the individual dots. Instead, for the thousands, we're going to use this big, long rectangle. For the hundreds, we just use a smaller square. Our tens, we use what we call a quick 10, which is just a line, a skinny line. And then for our ones, we just do 2 dots. Well, in this case, because there's 2 ones. But each of these would just be 1. So you might see it drawn like this, where it's actually drawn on dot paper. But I can look at this and I don't need to count the dots. I can easily see my long rectangle. So I know that's 1,000. And I have a second one. So 1,000 plus 1,000 is 2,000. Then I have my squares. Each of these is 100, and I have 5. So I know that's 500. So I have 2,500, and I've got 3 quick tens. 10 times 3 is 30. So 2,530. And we have 4 little circles, so 4. 2,534. Oh, I forgot I made this. There you go. So it just breaks this apart. So you can see this is your thousands, the biggest one. But when you have these perfect squares, guys, those are 100. Okay? All right. Now we're going to do some practices together. So on your notebook paper, I want you to follow along with me. So I'm going to make this a little smaller so I can type on it. All right, so we are going to write the number of tens and the number of ones in each number. So we're starting with 76. So I'm going to think about place value. The tens place would be the 7. So how many tens are in the tens place? Well, 7. How many ones? Right here, 6. So we're just doing the tens and the ones place right now. So if I look at 506, I'm thinking how many tens? Well, guys, there's a 0. So if there's a 0 in the tens place, there's no tens. You just put a 0. Then I'm going to look at the ones place, and I'm going to stick a 6 because we have 6 ones. Okay, over here we have 5,970. How many tens? Well, here's our tens place. We have 7. And how many ones? 0. Okay. Okay, let's do our next one. Okay. Write the number of thousands and the number of hundreds in each number. So if we look at 504, 504, we're thinking about hundreds. So if you count place values, you would go ones, tens, hundreds. So we have 5. Thousands. There's nothing here. We don't have any thousands. This number is smaller than 1,000. So we just say 0. Let's look at this number, 2,685. How many hundreds? Ones, tens, hundreds. My 6 is in the hundreds place. We have 6 hundreds. How many thousands? 2. Do you guys see that? One more. 3,045. How many hundreds? Ones, tens, hundreds. Oh, nothing, right? How many thousands? 3. All right, guys. I made that too big. Fit. Okay. We're going to label each place value model by its value, just to review. So anytime we see a cube, we should know that represents the thousands. Our hundreds grid, I gave away okay, what is this one model? Hopefully you've got the hundreds. That's our hundreds block. When we see a line, that should remind you of our quick 10, which represents the tens. And anytime we see this circle, we're going to know that it is our ones. So hopefully, after going through all that today, you can see the relationship between each of these place values. As we move to the left, we are increasing by 10. The tens place is 10 times as big as the ones. The hundreds place is 10 times as big as the tens. The thousands place is 10 times as big as the 100s. All right, guys, today you learned how to identify place value of numbers through the thousands.